Hello again, welcome back. You may have heard in previous videos about processing time, or even in our pricing plans you can notice different number of hours allocated to each plan. But what is processing time? Processing time is the time it takes an action from a process to execute. The average processing time of a platform action is 0.08 to 0.1 seconds, meaning 80 to 100 milliseconds. Depending on the context, like using complex API calls or custom actions, the processing time of an action can take seconds or minutes, due to external factors that we will detail later in this video. Let's go to PROCESSIO for a more clear hands-on explanation. Our use case is to send email notifications to a list of approximately 1244 users, informing them about a new campaign. To create a process for this we need a getFileData action to input the list of users and a Foreach action. As for each line in the list we need to perform the same actions. Within Foreach we will drag the following actions: a string trim action that will help remove all the spaces in the cell, a send email action that will send the email notifications. We will also add a count operation to help us for troubleshooting purposes if the process fails, which will simply tell us at what line it failed. Again, super useful trick for troubleshooting. As you can see, we have on canvas 8 actions. For the purpose of this video, I have previously run my process. Let's deep dive into the analytics of it. In the actions runs columns we can see that 3,734 actions ran. Why? Let's click on it and see. Well, the process flow contains getFileData and Foreach. The start and stop actions are not counted. But all actions within the Foreach action were processed each time for each line of the file. Remember we mentioned in the beginning that we have a list of roughly 1240 users. Let's take a look at these numbers at the instances level. You will notice that the duration of the process, which is calculated as the last update minus the start date, is about 19 minutes roughly. However, the processing time, which actually decreases from your plan usage, is only 8 minutes. In this view, you can see the numbers that matter at the instance level. All instances belong to a process. If you need more, you can go to Analytics. Here is how. Here you can see the numbers summed up in totals at process level. And from here, you can drill down into details at instance level and action level processing time. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, there can be multiple reasons why a process can have duration time longer than actual processing time. For example, a delay action within a process can influence the long duration of a process, but not the actual processing time of a process. For example, you want to send 2 emails to your customers in a 2-day sequence. The duration of the process will be 2 days, from the start to stop, but actual processing time will only be the count of the actions running to prepare the data and send the emails.
Hey Rob, you mentioned earlier that external factors can influence the processing time of an action. Can you please detail more on that?
Sure, thanks for reminding me. So, indeed, besides the processing time that PROCESSIO takes on running the in-platform actions, other external factors may intervene. These may usually appear to the Call API actions, as Call API, in general waits for a third-party service to answer a request, therefore is dependent on the third-party service provider's performance. Similarly, SMTP or SFTP connections, that requests or sends data and it again waits to request or receive data. Also, if the SFTP server is slow, obviously the data transfer itself will be time-consuming. This was a video about what processing time is. If you need more details, you may access our documentation. Happy automation with PROCESSIO!